Okay, live. How's everyone doing? I hope well. It's gotta make some. I get this. All right, start this off. Bada bing. Uh, Today we are going to be talking about the Nvidia live stream. Right now, Nvidia has a lot of news going about it. Um, you have their graphics cards that are not being able to be bought by anybody, but are being sold to bots, and so nobody can pick them up. Not to mention the supply shortage in general. So the supply shortage is one thing, then the bots amplifying it, making it so that nobody can get it. Same thing happens with the new consoles. Um, they right now tech is just off the charts when it comes to availability. And I think oh, the second part was it looks like they're expecting Nvidia to do well stock wise. A lot of people, because the shortage and whatever is coming in is being sold to out of stock, and the new announcements for better things and hopefully more stock availability is kind of showing that hopefully in the near future it's going to get more products, more sales, and then thus the stock increasing. So people are betting big on Nvidia right now. So that's brings us to the keynote, which is why this is a very important one for Nvidia this year, because there's a lot of investment riding on this. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we got.
We miss Taiwan and wish we could be there in person for Computex. So we created Taipei City in Microsoft Flight Sim and flew in virtually on a GeForce RTX 3080. Thousands of mods have been created for Flight Sim, and they've been downloaded over 10 million times. This mod will be available just after the keynote.
Really interesting. I guess, is Nvidia a Taiwanese company?
Welcome
Actually,
to Computex
never paid attention.
It's always great to talk directly
That
to our
also
partners,
is very
and this
political
year we
right
have
now.
A lot to talk about. I'm going to kick it off with gaming, and then I'll hand it to Manavir Das to talk about AI and our enterprise platforms. So let's get started.
Straight into it. Okay.
Every person born this year will be a gamer, 140 million of them. In fact, Gen Z prefers video gaming as their favorite entertainment activity over just about anything. In Taiwan, 2/3 of the population plays video games. So it's no surprise that gaming has transformed into one of the largest and fastest growing forms of entertainment, and it is here to stay. Gaming revenue grew to 180 billion, bigger than cinema, music, and streaming video combined. We added 60 million PC gamers to our ranks, and over 10,000 games were published for them to enjoy. In April, the number of concurrent gamers on Steam was at an all-time high of 27 million, 1.5 times that of 2019. Like any sport, people love to watch others play. 100 billion hours of gaming content was viewed on YouTube, and more than 430 million people tuned into esports competitions. And
Wow.
it doesn't stop there. Minecraft's open world is estimated to have grown to 4 billion square kilometers, or 8 times the surface of the planet. Valve just announced that the 2021 Dota Championship will feature a $40 million prize pool. Roblox had 42 million daily active users in the first quarter, up 80% year over year.
I
And it's
honestly
not just about
don't
playing.
know
There
anybody
are
that plays
45 million
Roblox
professional
outside
and
of
freelance creators
5-year-olds.
fueling an explosion in digital content, 30 million broadcasters, and 75 million higher ed STEM students, all relying on the latest technology to improve their productivity and quality of work. Over the past 20 years, we have built GeForce into the #1 gaming platform. With 1.5 billion GPUs shipped, GeForce has fueled the growth of PC gaming, and we continue to delight our customers with new ways to game and create. Our scale and pace of innovation was only possible by partnering with the best companies in the world. Together, we have transformed PC gaming. 10 years ago, we introduced Optimus, dramatically extending battery life in gaming laptops. All told, Optimus has saved over 5.8 billion kilowatt hours of energy, enough to power over 500,000 homes for a year. Max-Q changed the way laptops were built. The performance only available in big, heavy gaming machines was engineered into thin and light laptops. Max-Q has shed over 8 million pounds from gaming laptops sold. G-Sync introduced stutter-free gaming. With over 20 trillion buttery smooth pixels now shipped, once you game with G-Sync, there is no turning back. Last year, we introduced Nvidia Reflex, which changed the game for esports competitors. In Call of Duty Warzone alone, Reflex gamers have over 50 million wins. Finally, Nvidia Studio is our
Wow.
platform for creators. Engineered for the needs of creative professionals, our laptops have accelerated over 25 billion hours of content creation. Thanks to all of our partners who are just as excited as we are about reinventing this market and are joining us in the next major leap forward. RTX is a huge reset to computer graphics. A decade in development, RTX introduced the world to real-time ray tracing and AI for graphics. RTX is now available in a full range of desktops and laptops in every country, from every OEM, and even streaming from the cloud. With over 100 top games and apps available today, RTX is the new standard. For creators and broadcasters, RTX is accelerating the #1 photography app, the #1 video editing app, and the #1 broadcast app. For gamers, RTX is powering the #1 Battle Royale, the #1 RPG, and the #1 best-selling game of all time. Last month, we added Outriders and Call of Duty Warzone to the list. And today, we have more exciting games to announce. Dying 1983 is the second game in the Dying franchise from the Chinese developer Netcom. It's a Japanese-inspired horror-themed puzzle game. Its stark and frightening world is brought to life with RTX ray tracing and DLSS. Let's take an exclusive look at Dying 1983 with RTX on.
This is probably going to be the least, like, it's cool for gamers. I'm interested in it. But there's, like, not as much for me to talk about. Because it's gaming presentation. But, man, that does look good.
彼女がもしいて俺たちに感謝する。
最初に見た私たちさ、今日ここでしょ。私は彼女を操ることができる。でもあなたは自らを操ることができる。腕を見せる。けれども謎はあなたにとって朝飯前のはず。
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege is one of the most popular esports games in the world, with over 70 million players worldwide. In March, Rainbow Six gamers gained the competitive edge of Nvidia Reflex. Today we are announcing that RTX gamers will get even more performance with the addition of DLSS. Let's take a look.
It doesn't help that I'm on a 60 hertz refresh rate monitor. But more FPS is always
New
good.
Zealand-based developer Rocketworks was founded by Dean Hall, best known as the creator of DayZ. Their highly anticipated new game, Icarus, is a stunning multiplayer survival game set on a savage alien planet. Today we are announcing that Icarus will come alive with RTX Ray Trace Global Illumination and DLSS when the initial chapter
Has anybody
first
played
cohort launches this
DayZ
fall.
recently?
Let's take a look
It's
at some
actually
exclusive new footage.
really good. This would be fun too. I like survival games. I'm super into them. They're very chill, but at the same time, like, hardcore.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the most critically acclaimed games of all time. With more than 275 perfect scores, 175 Game of the Year awards, and more than 37 million copies sold to date. We are happy to announce that Rockstar Games will be adding DLSS to Red Dead Redemption 2. Coming soon, every RTX gamer will see a free boost in performance.
If anybody has
VR is
a
taking
3080
VR
that
game
they're
revenue
selling,
is up 70%
I'll
on
buy
Steam
it
in 2020.
for a reasonable
The
price.
installed base of PC-compatible VR headsets is expected to exceed 30 million in the next 5 years. With almost twice the resolution of a desktop monitor and unforgiving FPS requirements, VR is very demanding on the GPU. And RTX is now coming to VR. No Man's Sky, the popular open-world space game, now features DLSS. VR gamers can soon play with ultra graphics at 90 frames per second. Wrench, a mechanic simulator where you repair and maintain race cars in VR, now features RTX ray tracing and DLSS. And the VR survival shooter Into the Radius adds DLSS to boost performance and keep you immersed in this dystopian world. 75% of GeForce gamers play esports. We invented Nvidia Reflex for them. The difference between winning and losing is a matter of milliseconds. On average, Reflex reduces system latency by 20 milliseconds. It gets the PC out of the way so a gamer's real skill can come to play. And gamers love it. More than 90% of them compete with Reflex on. Today we are announcing even more Nvidia Reflex games. Gaijin's War Thunder, the most popular air, land, and sea battle arena with over 40 million gamers. Naraka Blade Point, the highly anticipated battle royale slasher from 24 Entertainment. In the last closed beta, it broke into Steam's top 5 games played. Tencent Games Crossfire HD is a remastered version of the original with over 560 million gamers in China. And Escape from Tarkov, the intense survival shooter from Battlestate Games, is one of the top 10 most played competitive shooters. Coming soon, 12 of the top 15 competitive shooters will feature NVIDIA Reflex. Let's take a look at Reflex in Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what this is doing, like on a mechanical level. So, okay, it is just... Well, I guess I got that part. But, like, how? I guess is the question.
For serious competitors, reducing system latency starts by measuring it from end to end. This requires an ecosystem of partners. Last year, we introduced the Reflex Latency Analyzer, a measurement tool built directly into gaming monitors. Today, we are adding Lenovo, ViewSonic, and EVGA. 13 partners are offering a total of 15 monitors and 21 compatible mice. Now, more gamers can simply plug a mouse into their monitor and accurately measure end-to-end latency from click to photon. Almost 10 years ago, we introduced our Kepler architecture and created a new class of laptops for gamers. While the market reception was great, these laptops were large, bulky, and had limited battery life, more transportable than portable. In 2016, we introduced the Pascal architecture and Max-Q technology, a full system design approach to bringing high performance to thin and light laptops. Performance increased by over 4x, and for the first time, high-performance gaming laptops were less than 20 millimeters thick. This year, we launched Ampere, our second-generation RTX. It featured our third-generation Max-Q and delivered twice the performance of Pascal. But the real magic is DLSS. Gamers have taken notice, and GeForce laptops are the fastest-growing gaming platform. Laptops are a marvel of engineering. No effort is spared to deliver the highest performance in a thin and light device. In laptop design, system power determines everything, including performance, battery life, thinness, and acoustics. What if you could get a massive boost in gaming performance without expending any more power? Let's say you are playing Control at 47 frames per second. At 1440p, the GPU is rendering almost 4 million pixels and drawing 80 watts of power. Nvidia DLSS uses AI-powered tensor cores to boost frame rates. With DLSS, the GPU only needs to render a fraction of the pixels, and then uses AI to complete the frame. The result is an image just as beautiful as native 1440p, and you get 1.5 to 2 times the performance at the same power. Alienware was one of our earliest partners, designing high-performance GeForce PCs for gamers. For the past 2 years, we've been working together to create an amazing new laptop. Today, we're announcing the Alienware X15, an ultra-thin GeForce RTX 3080 laptop. Powered by Max-Q technologies, including Dynamic Boost, Whisper Mode, and Advanced Optimus, and featuring a 1440p display. It's the world's most powerful sub-16mm, 15-inch gaming laptop. Tune into the Alienware Update event on June 1st to learn more. This year brought a record launch for RTX laptops, with over 140 models from every OEM. Starting at $799 and featuring Max-Q, there is now an RTX laptop for every gamer. We developed NVIDIA Studio to address the growing needs of 3D designers, video editors, and photographers. These are specially configured systems, optimized and tested for creator workflows, and supported with a monthly cadence of studio drivers. Today, we are announcing new studio laptops from HP and Acer. The 14-inch HP Envy brings the capabilities of RTX to an ultra-portable laptop, great for students and creators on the go. The new Acer Concept D offers a variety of traditional clamshell options and an easel sketchboard design.
Laptops, just a few years ago, gaming laptops were ginormous.
To digital creators
and
for decades.
Now
Machinima, an art form started
we
in the 90s,
have these
uses real-time 3D technology
almost
with game assets, visual effects, and character animation
PC
to create short,
desktop-esque
humorous or full-length
graphics,
movies.
right? That was
For
they were
these
talking
artists,
about
we created
4K
Omniverse
or
Machinima,
1440p
making it easy to produce
at
cinematic
stable frame
animated
rate
stories
using
with advanced
DLSS,
real-time ray
and
tracing
also
and AI.
saving battery,
Users
saving
import their
power,
own game assets or draw from our growing library.
making it so that
They
you
can
could
then apply advanced
have a
physics
normal
effects,
looking
like destruction or
laptop
fire,
and
with Nvidia's
still be
blast and
able
flow.
to
Animate
play
movements using only a webcam
video
with
games.
Wrench's AI pose,
That's really good.
and use simple audio tracks to animate character faces with audio to face. The final scenes are rendered in the Omniverse RTX renderer. Machinima was just released in beta. Let me show you how you can create your own masterpiece.
This is great. Having Machinima built into games. Having an AI poser. You could do acting. You could do...
Whoa! Look at me! I'm in the Omniverse.
What are you doing in my kitchen?
Nvidia Omniverse. So this doesn't connect to games then, does
RTX
it?
has been a huge success, and today we are announcing a new addition to the family.
I gotta look that up.
The GeForce RTX 3080 Ti is our new flagship gaming GPU. Based on Ampere with
They call it
second-generation
Ti.
RT cores
Interesting.
and third-generation Tensor cores, Ampere is our greatest generational leap ever.
So this is what we've been waiting for, is the 3080 Ti. Or Chai, I guess. I've never actually heard it pronounced as Thai, but they're the developers.
The 80 Ti class of GPUs represents the best of our gaming lineup. The GTX 1080 Ti, released in 2017, could tackle all the games of its time. But this well-loved GPU simply can't keep up with the demands of modern games. The RTX 2080 Ti was introduced as the only way to play in 4K with RTX on. But the production value of games continues to march forward. New titles like Cyberpunk 2077 and Watch Dogs Legion have elevated realism, demanding even more of the GPU. The RTX 3080 Ti is 1.5 times faster than its predecessor and tears through the latest games with all the settings cranked up. The RTX 3080 Ti is a powerful GPU with 34 shader teraflops, 67 RT teraflops, and 273 tensor teraflops.
I'm sure
It comes
that's good.
equipped with 12 gigabytes of ultra-fast G6X memory.
12 gigabytes.
and a
Oh my goodness.
384-bit
And I'm working
memory
off of like
interface.
8 with my
Availability will
1080.
begin on June 3rd,
I really need
starting at $11.99.
an upgrade.
To show you what this piece
June
can do,
3rd at 11.
we have a special announcement. Doom is a storied franchise known by a generation of gamers for pushing the boundaries of speed, power, and visual effects. Doom Eternal, the latest in the series, takes this even further. Based on the id Tech 7 engine, it's blistering fast and beautiful. Today we're announcing Doom Eternal is adopting RTX ray tracing and DLSS. Here is a first look at Doom Eternal with ray tracing at 4K running on a 3080 Ti.
Yeah, those reflections are so much better. Looking at that wall, yeah. And the artifacting in the video though makes it less, but yeah, you saw that wall or the glass. Oh, it looks so good. Look at that hallway.
And that's not all. The RTX 3070 quickly became our most popular Ampere GPU. Now we're adding a tie to this class of GeForce, with more cores and super fast G6X memory. Today we're announcing the all-new RTX 3070 Ti. It's 1.5 times faster than a 2070 Super, and availability will begin on June 10th, starting at $599.
Interesting.
Thanks everyone for your time. Before I hand it off to Manavir, let me
So
summarize.
1200 for
Gaming
the
is
TI,
transforming entertainment, and RTX is changing
for
everything.
the 80,
Not just
and
for gamers,
600
but for 150 million
for the
creators, broadcasters, and
3070
students.
Ti.
With over
That's a
100 of the
great
top
budget
games and creative apps
graphics card.
accelerated, RTX is the new standard. GeForce laptops are the fastest growing gaming platform. Now fueled top to bottom by RTX, 3rd generation Max-Q, and the performance boosting magic of DLSS. And Studio, specially designed for creators, extends their reach beyond gaming. Finally, the RTX desktop family just got better with our new flagship gaming GPU, the GeForce RTX 3080 Ti and the GeForce RTX 3070 Ti. Every person born today is a gamer. We have an amazing future ahead, and we look forward to building it with all of you. And here to tell you how we're putting AI into the hands of every company is Manavir Das, Head of Enterprise Computing.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you everyone for joining us today. Our journey at Nvidia began with gaming, but today we're also the driver of the most powerful technology force of our time, artificial intelligence. Let's take a look at just some of the ways in which AI, powered by Nvidia, is improving our world.
This is going to be the meaty part. AI, the AI technology that Nvidia uses is getting behind the scenes, like what they're planning to do with it.
I am a creator. Blending art and technology. To immerse our senses. I am a healer, helping us take the next step. And see
That's interesting.
what's possible.
Using, yeah. And this is kind of what we talked about with Google before, using healthcare systems,
Finding life-saving answers.
being able to use it for diagnosis on scans. But what they added to was the ability to use AI for machines, right? So that they could
a guardian,
help guide
defending our
physically.
oceans. And the magnificent creatures that call them home. I am a protector,
Being able to identify
helping the earth breathe easier.
being able to have
and watching over it
data
for
being
generations to
collected so
come.
that you could use it
I
so
am
as
a
surveillance.
storyteller,
You know that
giving emotion to words
Tom Cruise movie Minority Report
and
where
bringing them
it's
to
scanning
life.
through people
I
and
am
like
even the
on the
composer
screen it says who
of
they
the
are.
music.
That's what we're getting to.
I am AI, brought to life
Auto
via
composing music
deep learning
would be great
and
for
brilliant
content
minds
creators to avoid
everywhere.
And
copyright,
that was just a hint of what AI
right?
can do.
Having something
Taiwan
just
has
as
always been a
good
very special place for NVIDIA.
that does
From
what you
system
need and it
builders
can
and solution
analyze the
providers
scene
to universities and the
and
government,
judge
all have
the
partnered
kind
with
of
us.
music
On
it should
behalf of
synthesize.
Jensen and NVIDIA, thank you to all of our many friends in Taiwan who have worked alongside us to enable these amazing AI breakthroughs. Together, we have laid the foundation for a new computing model based on AI, software that writes software. This foundation includes GPUs deployed in the cloud and in data centers, AI software and SDKs tailored to the world's largest industries, and an ecosystem of startups and developers. Now it's time to build the house on top of this foundation. It is time to democratize AI by bringing its transformative power to every company and its customers. There are three fundamental shifts that will bring AI to every company. The first shift is that every application used by any company will be infused with AI. AI is essentially a two-step process. First, a rich set of existing data and known outcomes from that data are used to train a model. Then, the model is applied to fresh data to make fresh judgments. The model is effectively a piece of software that can be embedded into any application. As the application runs, it queries the model to make judgments, giving it intelligence. As new data becomes available, the model is retrained and improved, automatically making the application better without human developers having to create a new version. A great example of this infusion of AI is in Microsoft Office, the world's most popular productivity application. Microsoft is adding smart experiences such as smart grammar correction, Q&A, and text prediction to Office. With NVIDIA GPUs, Microsoft was able to improve responsiveness to less than 1/5 of a second, enabling real-time grammar correction, and at 1/3 the cost of the same work on CPUs. Going forward, every application will have to be built in this way or be left behind. Now, this is not the first
So
time we've seen this
you're
kind of
going
shift.
to, if you want to
For
use
example,
the
consider
better
the introduction
features
of the
of
graphical user
Office,
interface,
you're going
the
to
GUI.
need a
Once
graphics
the
card.
transformative value of GUI became evident, every command line application had to adopt GUI or be left behind. In the same way, every application will need to be infused with AI. And all of these applications will need the most performant, power efficient, and cost-effective systems to run on, regardless of form factor or location, from edge to cloud. Every system will need a GPU. The second
That's
shift
what they came
is
to.
that
Yep.
every data center used by any company will be infused with AI.
That's how
Computing is
they
increasingly
get that
being
market
driven by
share,
large amounts of data. Neither the
using
data
AI
nor
to
the
improve the
computation done on them
applications because
can fit on one
graphics
server.
was never a problem,
Therefore, the flow of data
right?
through the network
So
becomes
they come
crucial
up with something
to both the
else.
capability and the security of the data center. A new kind of hardware is needed that sits on the data path and intelligently optimizes, inspects, and protects the data, and protects the applications from one another. This new hardware is the Data Processing Unit, or DPU. Every server will need a DPU. The third shift is that the life
That's
cycle of
crazy.
every product
That's great.
produced by any
AI
company
on
will
server
be optimized by AI.
data management.
Consider the very common and
That's
old-fashioned example of
what they're
soap.
perfect for.
Yes, soap. Going forward, a soap company will design and tailor its soap product portfolio by analyzing rich data on the usage and experience of the customer base. The soap manufacturing process will be automated and optimized with AI. Customers who use soap, pretty much the entire population of the world, will be engaged socially and sold to online. Smart soap dispensers will track usage and automatically order refills. And all the data from the customer experience will be fed back to guide the design and supply chain of the soap. This soap company and every other company will need a new form of IT and IT infrastructure to operate the AI optimized lifecycle of its product. These are fundamental shifts that
Wow.
will require massive amounts of accelerated computing. Now let's talk
The
about how you
Internet
can
of
build on the
Things
technology foundation of
is
NVIDIA
what he's
to
talking
make
about.
this a
Everything
reality.
connected to the
How
internet,
you
soap
can
dispensers and
democratize
everything.
AI. We start with the hardware. NVIDIA DGX is the
It's both
instrument of
making
AI.
Nvidia
Since its launch
the
in
center
2016,
for it because
DGX
it's
has been
coming up
used
with
by
the
companies
software
across
for
industries
everybody to
at the
use.
forefront of AI. The reason for
And
this
they're going
is
to
that
have the
DGX
hardware
was
too
designed from the
that it
ground up as the
correlates with.
optimal system for AI. Every component and every interconnect was designed
AMD
or
is going to
chosen
be
with great
left
care.
into dust.
And today, DGX incorporates learnings from hundreds of millions of hours of usage on thousands of systems across the planet. The pinnacle of AI capability is the DGX SuperPod, where multiple DGXs are clustered together and tuned for AI based on all of NVIDIA's learnings. So the first step to democratization is to make this best-of-breed machine more accessible and more obtainable. To make it more accessible, we are providing a software stack called Base Command Platform. Using Kubernetes, this software allows administrators to share this powerful supercomputer across an organization of data scientists and a mix of workloads. It provides users with a simple interface for AI, and it allows organizations to understand and optimize their usage of this valuable equipment. We have been using Base Command within NVIDIA for many years, sharing superpods across thousands of data scientists who have run over 1 million jobs. To make it more obtainable, we are introducing a subscription model for SuperPod. Customers can now experience the capability of a SuperPod or a smaller part of a SuperPod for months at a time.
So this,
This is a hosted offering in which NVIDIA will
yeah,
manage
is
the
a
infrastructure,
hosted
reducing the operational burden on
AI that
the
you
offering
could
includes powerful all-flash
hire
storage and
to
integrated
keep
data
track
management from NetApp,
of your
the
data.
pioneer of enterprise NAS storage. NetApp is synonymous with enterprise-grade storage, with over 38,000 customers today, on premises and in the cloud. The subscription model is in early access now. For example, Adobe is already using the infrastructure to train StyleGAN, a powerful image generation AI. The model will open up for paid access this summer. With this offering, we expect that many more customers will be able to experience the unique capability of a SuperPod without the upfront investment. From there, they can graduate to more permanent infrastructure at scale, either their own SuperPod or in the public cloud. Speaking of the cloud, for
Interesting.
some time now, we have worked with our cloud
So
partners to
they
offer
created an
powerful
this is where
GPU
we knew
instances
it
in
was
the
going to
cloud,
go.
leveraging
But
the internal
they're
components
already
of
ahead of it.
DGX. We are proud to announce today that Amazon and Google are working with us to enable Base Command Platform for clusters formed from these cloud instances. This work offers the promise of a true hybrid AI experience for customers. Write once, run anywhere. But even as we democratize access to DGX, the larger objective is to decompose DGX into its smallest AI-optimized parts, so that system manufacturers can compose those parts into different form factors for different scenarios, while adding unique value-add capabilities for their customers. First, we productize the GPU board that combines multiple GPUs into a tightly interconnected computing fabric. This is HGX. Then, we offered the core GPU from the board as a standalone PCIe card. This is the A100. Now, we have further broken down the A100 into smaller form factor GPUs, such as the A30, that draw less power and are lower cost, while still providing powerful acceleration. And finally, we have productized the same Bluefield 2 DPU that is inside DGX SuperPod, now usable in any server. With this, we have now enabled a complete ecosystem of form factors, from supercomputers to pizza box servers, workstations, and edge devices. These form factors can be used in a variety of scenarios, from compute to graphics to virtual desktops to data center infrastructure, all made better by AI. HGX boards are the engine of supercomputing. A100 and A30 are optimized for compute. A40 and A10 are best for a mix of compute and graphics. And A16 combines multiple small GPUs into a great form factor for VDI. In order to help system manufacturers create AI-optimized designs and to ensure that the systems can be relied on
So
by customers,
they have
we created
multiple
NVIDIA
hardware
Certified,
options
a program
depending
for
on
servers that
what you're trying to
incorporate
do with
GPU
it.
acceleration. NVIDIA Certified provides blueprints for system design as well as test suites so that system manufacturers can validate their designs. Today, we are announcing the expansion of NVIDIA Certified to systems with NVIDIA Bluefield DPUs. Going forward, the DPU will be an essential component of every server in the data center and at the edge. This is because, as shown in the diagram, the DPU offloads, accelerates, and secures functions that must otherwise be performed by the host CPU. Last year, we announced Bluefield 2, our state-of-the-art DPU. NVIDIA is working closely with VMware to use Bluefield 2 as the host for their ESXi hypervisor as part of Project Monterey. This year, we released the first version of Docker, the SDK of Bluefield. We expect that Docker will do for the DPU what CUDA has done for the GPU, enabling millions of developers with a long-lasting, consistent SDK that they can use from one generation of Bluefield to the next. And we are especially pleased to announce that the world's system manufacturers are joining us in the DPU journey by producing state-of-the-art mainstream servers accelerated by NVIDIA Bluefield 2. 3 of these companies are right here in Taiwan: ASUS, Gigabyte, and Quanta. Bluefield 2 is especially well suited to inspecting the network for security breaches. The typical approach is to run an agent on the host CPU. This approach consumes host CPU cycles and handles only a narrow window of the network traffic. Bluefield 2 allows full inspection with no host CPU overhead. NVIDIA has created a software platform called Morpheus that uses the Bluefield 2 and AI to automatically detect and address security breaches. Today, we are announcing that Red Hat is working with NVIDIA to provide Morpheus developer kits for both OpenShift and Red Hat Enterprise Linux, or RHEL for short. RHEL is the most commonly used version of commercial Linux in enterprise data centers today. Cybersecurity companies will now be able to use Morpheus on RHEL and OpenShift to bring advanced security to every enterprise data center. But this journey is just beginning.
So,
We are
okay,
already working on Bluefield 3.
they
22
are
billion transistors,
working on an
the first
AI
400
to
gigabits per
also
second network
monitor
16
traffic,
CPU cores to run the entire
network
virtualization
traffic,
software stack.
to see
Bluefield 3 takes
potential
security to a whole new
breaches
level, fully
before it
offloading and
becomes a
accelerating
problem.
IPsec, TLS cryptography,
I mean, technically a
secret key
breach
management,
becomes a
and regular
problem
expression
right
processing.
away, but
Whereas Bluefield 2
you know what I'm saying.
offloaded an equivalent of 30 CPU cores, it would take 300 CPU cores to secure, offload, and accelerate the networking traffic at 400 Gbps. This is a 10x leap in performance. Bluefield 3, the next generation, but the same Docker SDK. Today, we are also announcing the expansion of NVIDIA Certified to accelerated systems with ARM-based host CPUs. As the GPU and DPU accelerators take on more of the compute workload for AI, it becomes useful to view the host CPU as an orchestrator more so than as the compute engine. Energy-efficient ARM CPUs are well suited to this task, and the open licensing model of ARM inspires innovators to create products around it. An exemplar of this approach is NVIDIA's own ARM-based Grace CPU, which will be available in 2023. Grace is purpose-built for accelerated computing applications such as AI that process large amounts of data. 2
ARM-based
years ago, we announced that we were bringing CUDA to
CPU?
ARM,
Is that what he said?
simplifying the development of AI and HPC applications on ARM. Today, along with our partner Taiwan-based Gigabyte, we are happy to announce a dev kit. This dev kit can be used by application developers to prepare their GPU-accelerated apps for ARM. So there it is, democratizing the hardware for AI with a wide range of accelerators turned into myriad form factors by a broad ecosystem of system builders. 103 different server and workstation form factors from 16 different system builders. More every day. Now let's turn to the software of AI. Every AI workflow can be thought of as a 4-step process in a loop. The first step is to take a large amount of unstructured data and prepare it by extracting and organizing its features. The second step is to use the prepared data to train the models. In many cases, the models are then validated or simulated before being used in production or in the physical world. And finally, the actual use of the models, which in turn generates more data that is then fed back to the process. This is the recipe of AI. Over the years, Nvidia has applied this recipe to create application frameworks for a variety of use cases, including conversational AI, drug discovery, self-driving cars, robotics, virtual collaboration, and recommender systems, the engine of the internet. These frameworks help companies jumpstart their adoption of AI. For example, NVIDIA Clara is our application framework for AI-powered healthcare. It includes SDKs and reference applications for drug discovery, smart hospitals, medical imaging, and genomic analysis. One customer that uses
I
Clara
wish
is
I was so
AstraZeneca.
smart to
With Clara, they
understand
created
all of
an AI
this,
model for
but I'm
generating new
not.
drug candidates that
This
target a given
is
disease while maximizing safety.
like I
This method has
understand
seen
what
recent
they're doing.
success,
I
with
don't
in silico
understand
medicine using
how I
AI
wouldn't be able to
to
build
find
it,
a new drug
right?
in
Like if
less than
a
2
hospital
years.
asked me to set
Companies
up
across the
an
world
AI
are using
system
these
for their
AI workflows
hospital,
from NVIDIA to
they
improve their
clearly have it
businesses
built.
and to help their
I
customers.
have no idea.
A great example from Taiwan is TSMC. We all know TSMC as a giant of the technology ecosystem, producing millions of wafers every year for semiconductor and technology companies across the planet. Analysts have referred to TSMC as the Hope Diamond of the semiconductor industry. In fact, NVIDIA itself is a very large partner of TSMC. Proactively identifying defective materials and classifying them to minimize further defects is a critical aspect of the chip production process. Engineers at TSMC have developed an AI-powered system to automate inspection and defect classification. Their system is 10 times faster and more accurate compared to the previous human method. All of these AI workflows are built from the same essential software libraries and toolkits. Now, we have brought all these components together as NVIDIA AI Enterprise, a coherent, optimized, certified, and supported software platform for AI. NVIDIA AI Enterprise is fully integrated with VMware vSphere, the de facto standard of enterprise computing. It is licensed, priced, and supported in the same way as vSphere for a consistent experience. And it all runs on NVIDIA certified servers, mainstream volume servers that are constantly racked into enterprise data centers. 71 different servers from 16 vendors, and more every day. But the components of NVIDIA AI are useful for more than AI. NVIDIA AI includes Rapids, a set of libraries that accelerate machine learning on GPUs. The same libraries can also accelerate the core engines of big data processing, such as Apache Spark. Cloudera is the de facto provider of Apache Spark to enterprise data centers around the world, with over 5 exabytes of data under management. As the technology landscape has changed, Cloudera has developed Cloudera Data Platform, a hybrid data cloud platform that brings customers forward to new technology without having to reinvent their big data pipelines. As we speak, the 2,000 customers of Cloudera are migrating to Cloudera Data Platform. We are pleased to say that NVIDIA and Cloudera have partnered to add
This
transparent
part
GPU
I don't
acceleration using
actually
NVIDIA
know.
Rapids.
what
A
it
fully
is.
integrated solution from Cloudera will be available starting this summer with the release of CDP version 717. Customers do not need to understand Rapids or change their workflows in any way in order to obtain the benefits of this GPU acceleration. An example of an early customer is the United States Internal Revenue Service. With zero changes to their fraud detection workflow, they were able to obtain 3 times the performance simply by adding GPUs to their mainstream big data servers. This performance improvement translated to half the cost of ownership for the same workload. But even as the world is transformed by AI,
So
another shift is
that's
underway,
like a hybrid
amplified by the global
AI.
pandemic.
It's not built into the
It
system,
is
but you
becoming
can
more
use
and
your
more
previous
important
existing
for
system
virtual teams of people
to
in different
come in
locations to
and
collaborate in real
use
time.
the AI.
This is especially true for 3D workflows, from visualizing architecture to creating photorealistic content for games and movies to simulating physically accurate worlds. This is a domain Nvidia is very familiar with. And the same GPUs and systems we talked about in the democratization of AI are in fact the ideal foundation on which to build a platform for real-time collaboration and simulation of 3D designs. This is NVIDIA Omniverse. Omniverse makes it easy for teams to collaboratively design and simulate in 3D. We built Omniverse with open standards
So
based on Pixar's
Omniverse,
USD, a powerful file framework and scene description language. With open standards,
okay,
Omniverse
is
enables teams to
a
connect and work across multiple design applications
video
or
editor
asset libraries
essentially,
in
where
real
you
time
can set up
and
the
at the
scenes.
highest fidelity. Just as we did with AI, we have put the functionality of
I like
Omniverse
that.
into an
I
enterprise-grade
might
software
use that.
platform.
That actually might
NVIDIA
become my
Omniverse
channel.
Enterprise. Omniverse Enterprise can run on any NVIDIA RTX-powered infrastructure, from professional laptops to workstations to GPU-accelerated virtualized or bare metal servers. We are excited to partner with leading global system providers who will offer NVIDIA Omniverse Enterprise later this year, starting at just $14,000 per year per company. The Omniverse subscription comes with connectors, which are plugins for the world's most important third-party design applications, allowing multiple designers
That's
and
what they're
creators to
using
use
for
their
the
preferred tools
Mandalorian. I
while
forgot about that.
simultaneously editing a scene together. Companies around the world and across industries are already using Omniverse to collaborate in amazing ways. Let's see how Omniverse is ushering in a new era of virtual worlds.
Where are you from, Misty?
I'm from a place called Omniverse.
This is great, actually. Right? If you can't rent out a block to do things, and you wanted
So,
to,
there you have it. It is time
and
to
you're
put
like
accelerated
uncomfortable
computing
just
to
like
use
filming
for
in
every
public,
company.
you could
This
just
is a
take shots
giant
of it,
opportunity
use
and
it as a background,
responsibility for all of us.
create
What
your
we've
like
talked about
AI.
today
Oh
are
man, it's
three
really good.
essential ingredients built by NVIDIA. The hardware foundation from which to build any system. The software platform for artificial intelligence. The software platform for collaborative design. Together, we can use these 3 ingredients to transform every company. And yet, this is the same hardware and software technology that is at the heart of GeForce, the gaming GPU, which is where it all began. I'll close with a simple thank you. On behalf of my co-presenter, Jeff Fisher, our CEO, Jensen Huang, and all of NVIDIA, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being with us every step of the way. And thank you for continuing forward with us on this amazing journey.
That was pretty good. I wanted to take a look at a couple things. Let's get this a little bit. Okay. Simulation platform is what they're calling it. Pixar's open source USD file format. So this is able to create apps. Oh man. This is like a whole engine. Because it looks a lot like they're using Unity. Content browsing extension. Yeah, that looks really cool. What else? What was the other thing? Nvidia Studio. One second. I'm pretty sure this is the broadcast studio, but oh no, this isn't what I thought. So video editing and motion graphics, rendering, editing, supercharge your space. Built into broadcast. So this is going to be what I'm going to be interested in looking at. Okay, so these are for RTX GPUs still, which made sense. Come on. What is that Quadro one? Desktop and notebook driver. Okay, so these are for enterprise drivers. That's what I thought. Just making sure though. I was interested in this other one. So edit up into 8K playback. So this is just going over graphics. Edit faster. This is cool. That actually did not look good. I don't think, at least. Unless you're going for a cartoony look. Okay, well, that was the keynote. Hope you all learned something about Nvidia today, and we will probably be back in less than an hour for the finishing of Baldur's Gate. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.